Two, one. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another exciting film journey here on Inside Movies Galore. I am one of your hosts. But today we are continuing the totally awesome 80s ride. As we, I do believe that this is the last film of our month where
Hmm.
we're uh, going backwards in time.
Yeah.
Um, as I do believe that this film was filmed in 1982. So definitely falls under the 80s,
That.
uh, 80s criterion. And this is directed by Amy Heckerling. Um,
Hmm.
and it is Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Hmm.
We were discussing films, and this title came up, and I realized I had never seen it, so I
So,
decided to put it forward. So,
yeah.
let's see. I do believe that the film is written by Cameron Crowe.
Yep.
It is based on his 1981 a book called Fast Times at Ridgemont High, a true story. And the
Hmm.
film stars Sean Penn, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Judge Reinhold, Phoebe Cates, which, if anyone knows anything about anything, Drop Dead Fred is where a lot of people know her from.
Huh.
Um, Brian Backer, Robert Ramones, and Ray Wellston of My Favorite Martian.
Hmm.
And Stephen King's The Stand.
Hmm.
And Crow went undercover as a student at
So
Claremont
wait,
High.
maybe I missed something. You just named some of the main cast, but I don't think did you mention Sean Penn, Jennifer Jason Leigh, and Judge Reinhold?
Yes,
I
I
must have
mentioned
missed
them
that.
first.
Maybe I blacked out on that part. Sorry.
Yep,
Also,
and
first ever acting role for Forrest Whitaker and also for a young Nicholas Coppola. Yes.
oh yeah, seeing a young Forrest Whitaker, that was something else.
Yeah, a lot
Uh,
of these people were a lot young.
Oh yeah, I mean this is way before his Ghost Dog performance,
I still need to see that. I've heard such good things.
But
Oh, one day.
in any case, the the film. Okay, so Crow.
Hmm.
He evidently went undercover as a student at Claremont High
Hmm.
in San Diego and wrote about his experiences there, and that's kind of how this movie came about.
Hmm.
Um, it basically chronicles a year in the life of underclassmen Stacy Hamilton and Mark Radner,
Hmm.
and their older friends Linda Barrett and Mike Damone.
Hmm.
Um,
As
and
well as
supposedly they both believed themselves to be wise in the ways of romance. And it basically
well,
it basically is comprised of two subplots.
we also have Stacy's older brother Brad and the famed Jeff Spicoli rounding out the main cast. Um, but yeah, there. Oh, sorry. Continue with the.
Well, yeah, Jeff Spicoli is the totally stoned uh, young man who has two cronies that hang out with him, and The funny thing is, and I know you mentioned them earlier in in our messenger
Mhm.
about how they are played by the very young Eric Stoltz and Anthony Edwards, who later played
Yes.
Rooster and played on ER.
Yes. Yes.
And I never realized that Anthony Edwards had so much hair. So
Right at one point.
yeah, I was like, holy shit, that is him.
Well, of
So
course, he's also Goose from Top Gun, and Rooster. That was the character from Revenge of the Nerds, right? Am I remembering that correctly?
oh,
Or am I?
I was thinking Top Gun. Yes,
No. Oh, you were. Oh, yeah, Goose.
Goose.
Yeah. Um. Yep.
But in any case,
That would have been. Have we done that on this channel? I don't
we
think we
have
have.
not done Top Gun as
That
of
would have
yet.
been a good, awesome '80s movie, but maybe next time.
Yep, maybe next time.
Mhm.
So basically, Lee, we have two subplots going on here. Where on the one hand, you've got you know Jeff Spicoli, who has his perpetually face offs with Mister Hand, who is played by Ray Walston.
Mhm.
Of my favorite Martian
Mhm.
fame, and then of course you've got Brad who works at what was it? Not big
various
All American
various
Burger.
fast food places.
Yeah, he eventually works at various fast food
Yeah.
places, like you say. But he starts out at All American
Yeah.
Burger,
Mhm.
which I guess we'll get to that. He's got a Buick that he's almost paid off, and he plans
Mhm.
to break up with his girlfriend
Mhm.
to fully enjoy his year as a senior, and then
Yeah.
of course he's got a 15-year-old sister by the name of Stacy, who is a freshman,
Mhm.
and she works at Perry's Pizza at
Mhm.
the Ridgemont Mall, alongside her best friend Linda Barrett, played by
Mhm.
Phoebe Cates. And Stacy kind of looks up to Linda a lot because she seems to exude like this sexual experience or experience that she's been sexual in nature.
Hmm.
Uh,
She claims to have an older boyfriend who I think claims he's a college guy, right? Yeah,
yeah, Doug, I believe the
I think
name
so.
is and she keeps giving her pointers.
Yeah, right.
And then, of course, there's the smooth talking Mike Damone,
Hmm.
who fancies himself a worldly ladies' man, earns
And
money by taking sports bets. And
no, he's a ticket scalper.
yep, that too.
Hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
I guess he does work as a small time bookie too. Yeah,
yeah,
he kind of jack of all trades.
yep. And then, of course, his best friend is an usher at the movie theater
Yeah.
across from Perry's Pizza.
Hmm.
And then,
And he is smitten with Stacy. Rat
yes.
is absolutely smitten. Yep.
But before them two get together, there's a 26-year-old stereo salesman
Hmm.
by the name of Ron Johnson who basically asks Stacy on a date. She lies about her age, and then she ends up losing her virginity to him in a baseball ball
No,
field
no, she
dugout.
wasn't. Well, does she?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of felt like her actual virginity was with Damone, but I could be wrong about that. I know
Nope.
yeah, I know
Well,
they
she said
definitely do stuff.
She just definitely gets pregnant by Demo.
No, by Damone, yes.
Yeah.
but
But
she said she told her friend, that it she was describing that it hurt and and everything. So it seemed like she did lose it to
Yep.
him.
eh,
So
And then of course, Ron then sends her flowers the next day, but then soon disappears.
yeah. Apparently, there was a scene that was not kept that they thought they would use of him calling the house and finding out she was in high school, and that's why he ghosted her. But, you never know. She told him that she was older. Like she said 19. And the funny thing is, Jennifer Jason Leigh was 19 when she filmed this movie. So so she was playing a younger character, but the lie she told was actually the truth.
Yeah.
The yeah, it's kind of interesting. Uh but
Okay.
yeah, she does look very young for
Oh yeah, she
yeah,
definitely
yeah,
looks very young.
right.
So then of course Rat meets Stacy in
Mhm.
a biology class, which is taught by a Mr. Vargas, and uh,
Vincent Chiavelli, one of the weirdest looking dudes in movies.
yeah.
And
Uh,
Vargas is interesting. And from what I
uh,
read, Vargas was absolutely based on a real person who would take people on weird ass field trips, had all kinds of animals in his science lab. Sounded
mm,
like a really cool teacher, actually.
yeah, sounded like a cool teacher, but still slightly an asshole.
Is he? Is he?
Slightly.
Yeah.
Only
Well, he
only.
was bragging a bit when he introduced his wife, but I mean, wouldn't you have?
Yeah. Okay, so Rat is, of course, as we all know, smitten with Stacy. So
Yeah.
he takes her on a date.
Mhm.
Stacy then invites Rat into her bedroom after the date, but then he nervously makes up excuses. He leaves before they even get beyond the kissing part.
She practically throws herself at him, and she thinks he's not interested, and it's like,
Yeah,
you know,
she takes his shyness as the
yeah,
lack of.
yeah. Well, one of the things I snapped this up when Criterion released. Oh, Dave, I just realized you plowed right into it, and we never did first impressions.
Oh yeah, that's right. All
Hmm.
right, let's go around. Let's do
Right.
first impressions before we get too farther along.
Hmm.
So, all right, Tammy, was this a first time watch for you?
no, but it's been a long time since I've watched it. You know,
So it's almost like your first time seeing it again.
yeah, almost. There was little bits and pieces I remembered. Um, but yeah, it was almost like the first time. Um, yeah, I found it okay, interesting. It was. um, do you remember what year they're supposed to be in school at this time?
I'm
Nah.
I'm pretty sure that again, it's based on a book that Crow did that was published a year or two earlier. I think the events that took place in this probably took place in the last couple of years of the 70s, maybe.
Okay.
So it was more or less contemporary.
Okay, I was just, trying to compare like how things were when I was in school, because when I was in school was probably a little bit closer to the year of this than you guys.
Yeah.
So, um
Yeah. I was not in high school when this came out.
Nah.
um I wasn't either. I was 10.
Okay.
My
But
sister was born in '82,
Yeah.
so I wasn't even born.
Yeah, my one of my brothers was born in '82. I was probably one when this came out. But
so,
yeah.
but I was just trying to figure out what year they were trying to
Hmm.
portray. Because
Hmm.
when I was in high school would have been um like what, like 86 to 90 would
Hmm.
have been the time I would have been in school or around that. So that's why I
Hmm.
said it wasn't that far off in a way from when I would have been, in high school.
Right.
And some things, kind of seemed maybe similar. I mean, the mall definitely reminded me like a combination of two different malls here. I
Hmm.
mean, well, the Grand Avenue is no longer, but at the time, it reminded me, the movie reminded me a lot of the Grand Avenue Mall and somewhat of
Hmm.
Southridge, which is still around, you know. And I definitely did a lot of hanging out at the mall at Southridge.
Hmm.
Not so much at Grand Avenue, but I mean, a lot at Southridge. And I remember bumping around Southridge Mall with all my friends and all that stuff and everything. Now, I personally did not work in the mall,
Hmm.
but my first job when I was 16 was at a restaurant just outside the mall.
Hmm.
But um there was a lot of things that seemed, it seemed pretty, not too far fetched, about things that were going on and stuff. And you know, I guess you might want to say your coming of age
Hmm.
situations, and
Hmm.
your little, the girls with the, oh, he's cute and this and that and da 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 and all that, and the guys, seeing how far they could get, you know. So
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, it was a fun watch
Either
because
seeing how far they can get, or seeing what kind of hustle
I mean,
you might be
it
able to
was
hustle out of someone.
it was a fun watch because like I said, it wasn't too far off from the years that I was in high school. So
Hmm.
it made it fun. It was I really I did enjoy it. It was just kind of like, did we really act that stupid, or and things like that. But it was fun. So I definitely did not mind watching it. It was pleasant, kind of like memories and fun, for the most part.
Uh,
I mean, I really don't have too nasty of high school memories. Some people have terrible memories of high school and stuff. And I think for the most part, mine weren't too bad. So that's why it was kind of a fun. That made it more of a fun watch. So
okay.
it reminded me about all the stuff that I actually got away with. That's for sure.
Alrighty. Is that then the end your first impression then?
Yeah, so far.
Okay. Heading over to you, Jake. Was this a first time watch for you?
No, this was not a first time. I don't recall the exact time and circumstances of watching this movie. Um, Reasonably sure that I saw it while I was in college. If I didn't, it was very shortly after. I'm reasonably sure I did not see it before that. Uh, and I feel like it's one of those movies I had heard about for a little while before I saw it. Um, sort of in the context of this is an essential kind of 80s coming of age movie. Um, and I've always kind of associated it in my mind with a couple of other movies. And actually, in this viewing, I did pair it. Dave had suggested the twofer of this one and Dazed and Confused, and I did end up doing that. I watched the two back to back for the first time. And they're very different movies, but they do have a lot of overlap and a lot of thematic similarities and what have you, stylistic similarities. Um, but also, this is written by Cameron Crowe, and I've seen quite a few of his movies. Actually, we did Jerry Maguire just what was it, a month ago. Um, I have long been a huge fan of Almost Famous, uh, and so this one was also one that it may have been. Actually, it may have been in the context of watching Almost Famous that I first started hearing that, like, I probably needed to watch this movie. Maybe. And then also the people involved. I mean, again, this was, I think, Sean Penn's third movie, but it's the movie that really put him on the map. It's really the first movie for Nicolas Cage, a first movie for
Oh,
Forrest
no
Whitaker.
way, man.
A lot of these people, had really, this was them getting their start, which Dazed and Confused, that's one of the similarities. A lot of people got their start with Dazed and Confused, or at least became famous. I mean, that was one of the movies that made Ben Affleck famous, so that's, there's some similarities there. I cannot guess how many times I've seen this movie. It's not a lot. If I had to guess, this was probably a fourth viewing, plus or minus one, maybe. It's not one I've seen frequently, and it's been a while. From the sound of it, maybe not as long as it's been for Tammy, but it's been a while. So the movie was not super fresh in my mind, except for there's a few particular parts of this movie that I think we can all agree there are a couple of parts that everyone remembers who's seen the movie, but there are several parts that kind of I remembered, kind of stuck in my mind, but there were other parts that I'd largely forgotten. And what I started to say that when I realized, wait, we haven't done the intros. I did watch when I learned that Criterion was releasing the movie. I jumped at the chance to upgrade because I had a pretty basic DVD copy. I think it had some good bonus stuff, but it was, it was DVD. So I got the Criterion Blu-ray. I was like, but it's been sitting unwatched and unopened for a while. So this was a really good chance to do that. I also had an unwatched Criterion copy of Dazed and Confused. That's why, I watched most of the bonus features. I forgot to read the booklet, so I haven't done that yet. And one of the bonus features they have with this, it's kind of weird, is apparently they included the television edit of the movie, which is really an interesting choice. But supposedly the television edit is very different from the theatrical cut.
Is it extended
also,
or is it?
It's very different. It's heavily sanitized. Apparently, they used some scenes that were left on the cutting room floor. There were, Amy Heckerling talks about it, and Cameron Crowe. They talk about it on some of these bonus features, and they're not complimentary of the TV edit. But and apparently there was I don't know which version you guys saw. There is a couple of short edits that they made for the theatrical release that are restored in the Criterion release. And the theatrical release was a hair breadth away from being an X-rated movie. And they made a couple snips and made it R-rated. Technically, the Criterion release would probably be an X-rated release. and there's more I want to, I'll mention as we get to it. But I did want to say I did enjoy watching the bonus features, and one thing that Crow and Heckerling were very much in agreement on that we should probably say right at the top is they apparently were trying very, 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 very hard. I think Cammy, you said something about nothing was too excessive or too out there. I think I'm paraphrasing, but apparently that was absolutely the ethos they had. That was the goal they had. They were trying to tell an honest, real story from and about the point of view of teenagers. And the way they tell it, it is amazing the movie got made and released the way it did. um, and I do have a whole new appreciation for it, having revisited it this time. I've always kind of liked the movie, but now that I know a little bit more about the background and whatever, I definitely have a little more appreciation for it. And like I said, we'll talk about specific things as we get there. And I will go ahead and just say as well that Spicoli is a great character. He is a hilarious character. I think I've always his
He reminds me of like a lot of like Bill and Ted or Wayne's World type characters.
Without Jeff Spicoli, there probably would be no Bill and Ted or Wayne's World. he really set the template for that kind of character. And a lot of that comes down to Sean Penn. And like so we'll talk about that as we get to it. But apparently he was method on this movie. Apparently he was method. He insisted on being called Spicoli and would not answer to Sean Penn. It's like I think that's kind of hilarious. Especially because you look at Sean Penn, his persona, his body of work, he seems like the most serious dude out there. And then you watch this role and you're like, is this the same guy?
It's like, yeah, it's totally different than what you're used to seeing him. I mean,
right.
You don't picture Sean Penn as some like wave chasing stoner,
Right. But it's great to think that he approached this movie just as seriously as anything else he's done. It's like, it's kind of funny. But yeah, so like I said, and of course his rivalry with Mr. Hand is famous and rightly so. It does give us some great moments. Of course, Phoebe Cates gives us one of the most infamous moments in movie history. And supposedly an entire generation of movie renters nearly destroyed the tapes that they were checking out because of one scene.
Could you imagine having the last name of Hand, though?
What's that?
Could you imagine having that last name Hand? Oh my
God!
Could you imagine all the little jokes and everything that could come out of that?
Right. Well, isn't one of the teachers in South Park Mr. Hand? Did I
no. In South Park, it's not that he's called Mr. Hand, but he's got a puppet that he calls Mr. Hand.
Oh, who's the teacher then? Let's see. I don't know. I'm trying to remember because I feel like they mentioned.
Hello, y'all. I'd like y'all to meet Mr. Ham.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's Mr. Mackey. The counselor.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to think of their teacher.
Was the teacher Garrison, with the Mr. Hand.
Was that Mr. Garrison? No, the K guy was the counselor.
No, that was his. That was a teacher.
The K guy was whatever. Well, anyway, what was I saying? Anyway, I think that's everything for now.
Okay.
Yeah, everything for the first impressions. Um, other than one other thing I will say is I have to disagree. I'll go ahead and say this right up. I have to disagree with Amy Heckerling on one thing. She hates the soundtrack. She insists the studio forced it on her. And I'm like, this is a fairly famous soundtrack and probably for good reason. But, you know, I kind of, I kind of like the ones she said there were a couple songs she fought for, and they are good in the movie. But when we get to the music, we'll talk about that. But I thought it was kind of funny finding out that she really hates the soundtrack.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I had never seen this movie before.
Mm-hmm.
I knew about it. Um, and it turns out I actually did pick this up on DVD, and
Mm-hmm.
I just had not like stuck it in and watched it yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'd heard about it. Um, Maybe I might have seen some scenes over time, but I've never seen the whole thing. So I'm glad that I have. Um, Rat kind of reminds me of like Woody Allen
Okay.
in a sense. He sounds like Woody Allen to me. He looks like him in a sense if he were like a lot younger. But that's how I feel with him in that role. But there are a lot of stereotypes and there were a lot of like high school movies that were done in the 80s, you know, life about school, and this was,
Mm-hmm.
I would have to say, this is a godfather of some of those. um
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure The Graduate sits somewhere in there. The nerd movies,
Well, The Graduate was
Porky's.
the 60s, but it kind of helped start some of these.
Yeah, I'm just saying in the history of high school
Ah.
movies that involved the life of the stereotypes of high school, and this was one of them that I always heard about, and glad that like I said, glad that I finally saw it, because it does touch on, you know, the the iridescent love at first sight, you know, the smitten love, uh, the the dating aspect of it, and some subjects that are like abortion.
Right.
Abortion. It was a big a thing that sometimes people skated over. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, things of that nature crept up through. But other than that, I know the pizza place kind of reminded me of like Rocky Rococo's. I mean, it's like that pan pizza with the large pepperonis and whatnot. Not sure if I ever saw sausage on the pizza, but if they were the big ass sausages, then it was definitely fairly similar, or fairly close to being a pan style pizza from Rocky Rococo's.
Mhm.
But in any case, I enjoyed watching the movie. I especially liked the the consistent. teacher torture that Ray Walston gave on Spicoli. I mean, uh, I think they had fun with their roles. He enjoyed being the antagonist, and I think Ray Walston had a sense of humor that he brought to the role where he
Yeah.
really enjoyed embarrassing the shit out of him.
Well,
Um,
I told you Sean Penn went method for this one.
yeah.
Apparently, one thing he would do was to treat everyone else the way Spicoli would, and he annoyed the shit out of Ray Walston on purpose. And it you could probably tell that the performance. But yeah.
All right. So I do want to say one of the best scenes to me in the movie is when Sean Penn and his buddies
Mhm.
show up at the All American Burger and take off their
Yep.
shirts.
Right.
Because when Judge Judge or
Brad.
Judge walks
Yeah.
over as Brad.
Yeah.
He shows them the sign saying "Learn it."
Well, no shirt, no shoes, no dice.
I know. He's like, I know you guys came in here with shirts.
Yeah, what was his response to that? He's like, what happened to him? He said something like, they've disappeared or something obvious. Yeah.
But that just sets the tone for some of the rest of the movie, and I thought that was like great.
It was
Um,
funny. I mean, the minute they walked in with the shirts and they sat down, it was like, what the hell are they doing?
Right.
but yeah, I at the end of the day enjoyed my experience with it, and I'm glad that I upgraded my copy, even though for some stupid reason my copy just wouldn't play in her player. It
Huh.
played in all the other players in the house, just not her Blu-ray player. It's like what the hey. But I'll watch my copy later on my
And we found
Okay,
we
PS5.
found the
I found the quote. Hey, you guys had shirts on when you came in here. Well, something must have happened to them.
yeah, that was really weird that it wouldn't play because we even put a different Blu-ray
Yeah.
in to make sure that because I had a Blu-ray player that I keep just off to the side because it stopped playing Blu-rays,
Huh.
but it plays DVDs, so I keep it as a spare.
Right.
So I'm like, oh shit! Don't tell me this one's not gonna play Blu-rays anymore. They put another in fact, we put Dazed and Confused in, and because he had just gotten it, and it played it immediately. I'm like, well, that's not the problem.
Huh.
So we
Isn't
have
that
no
something?
idea. It played it in my portable Blu-ray player, played it everywhere else, but for some reason would not play. It was just
Well,
weird.
yeah.
We
figure.
were lucky that she had actually recorded it on TV, so I think we watched the theatrical
Well, whatever
with
version
commercials.
whatever version AMC was playing
Yeah.
is the version we watched.
That might have been the one on that I got. I don't know. I haven't, but I know AMC sometimes plays some really creative recuts.
Yeah, we watched the AMC because I recorded it. I knew that he had picked it, and he
Yeah.
didn't have it yet. So I saw it was coming on. And I recorded it just for the
Mhm.
fact, simple. If for some reason we didn't get it, I had
Mhm.
it.
Right.
And luckily I did.
Okay.
So
So I guess I still have to watch my copy per se, but
You didn't
Um,
accidentally
uh,
get a foreign copy, did you?
no, it says straight up on the back, Region A.
Huh.
So
And it played
Interesting.
everywhere else.
Interesting.
And I don't have. We don't. We the only plays. The only thing that can play a foreign. Wait, can your Xbox play foreign
not Xbox,
or whatever?
PS5.
Does that
Hmm.
play foreign?
No, it does not.
Okay, so
Huh.
then we don't have anything in the house that'll play foreign.
No.
Interesting.
Actually, I'm not sure about my portable player. It might play foreign. I don't know. So
But
I
mine,
guess
I
I'll
don't.
have to take my actual portable once I find where I stuck it.
But it played on
Um,
my portable and my
yeah, it played on your portable.
so
Hmm.
it was
It
just
played on your portable, so it should play on your Blu-ray player.
I don't know. I
But
ask
anyways,
ask it what its problem is.
I'm
I don't
not gonna
know.
ask it. I'm just gonna give it the finger. Okay, but in any case, so but yeah, now that we've gone around to our first impressions, let's go
Mhm.
back to the plot here. So,
Okay.
where exactly where were we? Oh
I
yes,
think
we
you'd
were starting to
already.
talk about Stacy, who had actually been working at the pizzeria,
Yeah.
and I think we'd gotten to at least the date with Rat and
Yeah, you kind of skipped a whole lot of stuff, so I don't know that we were really doing things in order. But yeah. uh,
no, I was not, and I wasn't trying to do a play by play. So,
okay. Okay.
uh, but if anyone wanted to bring up anything along the way, feel free. So,
Okay.
but yeah, okay, so maybe we should talk about the Brad. Okay,
Right.
we'll talk about Brad for a moment. Now he
Okay.
started out in All American
Hmm.
Burger, and we've already mentioned that Spicoli had come in with his friends,
Right.
shirtless.
With his buds.
Um, but was there? Did that irate customer come in during that
No,
scene? No,
that was
that
later.
was later.
That was
Okay,
later. Yeah.
so there are a couple of scenes that are in the
Yeah.
in the All American Burger. Like
Mhm.
I think he works with his girlfriend there.
Well, his yes, the one that he feels like he is a single successful guy, even though he has a girlfriend, he's a single successful guy and he needs to be free to enjoy his senior year. Uh, I'm like, yeah, I gotta say, Brad, he has a couple of moments in the movie that redeem him. There's one moment in particular that I'm like, okay, good on him. But at the beginning of the movie, he is insufferable. And I know people like him, and he thinks he's all that, you know, and he thinks he's hot shit because he works in, because he has a good job. He's got a cool car that's almost paid off. He's got a hot girlfriend, but he feels like he can dump her because he can do better. He's that guy. you know.
Yeah, and he's young enough that he can actually do some stupid
Yeah.
shit. So this is like a total opposite character than his Santa Claus character, because he plays a stuffy turtleneck neck
Oh,
sweater.
that's right. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is Neil.
Right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Needle nose needle.
Right. Uh,
But or should I say his head comes to a point. But in any case, Arr, arr, arr.
Okay.
Sorry. But we got him. I know that when he was like washing his car,
Yeah.
that was kind of like a moment,
Mhm.
because people wash their cars
Mhm.
a lot in the 80s,
Right.
and
Especially when they love their cars.
yes.
I get the feeling that if they had put Queen's "I'm in love with my car" on there for him, it probably would have fit perfectly.
Right. Yeah,
Um,
he definitely had a relationship with his car.
right.
Um, but it was fun
Mhm.
watching him dance around that thing.
Right.
He was acting like a goofy ass teenager.
Yeah.
Even though, and I think this is like a little bit before his Beverly Hills Cop role.
I think Beverly Hills
Definitely,
Cop was 83 or 80. That was 84, wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah. So definitely a
So
little before. And it was definitely a little before his John Hughes related stuff. Um, see, and actually, one thing that I read was apparently nearly everyone that went on to star in John Hughes movies did audition for this one. That some of them they couldn't afford even at this point. Uh, but he also gets one of the other characters I don't think we've mentioned yet is Arnold, played by Scott Thompson, and he's this kind of nerdy guy, and he has Brad get him a job at the burger place. So we get at least one scene of Brad kind of showing him the ropes, as it were, and just being this cocky senpai at the workplace, basically.
yeah,
Yeah. Yes.
of course, he starts a grease fire,
Yes.
which kind of almost gets him in trouble, but
Mhm.
um, ultimately, this Arnold guy goes on a break,
Mhm.
which then has him in front with the most unruly customer that apparently they have come across, and he
Mhm.
is not exactly kind to him, or
Yes.
as kind to him as he probably should be.
He
In
was
fact,
he was sort of
messing with him.
a he was the guy was sort of not really a full Karen, but sort of the kind of customer that ultimately would become one eventually. Uh, but yeah, and they have words. They do have words.
Yes, they do have words. Um, and I'm trying. Was it the fries that he didn't like, or I was
I
trying to
think
remember.
I think it was actually a burger that he had said was undercooked or something like that.
Yeah.
And,
It
and
was
it's
his
like,
breakfast. His breakfast. He said the
yeah,
eggs were undercooked.
yeah,
It's something else, and then but he ate he ate
yeah,
like half the damn thing.
yeah,
He ate three-quarters of the darn thing. You can see
right.
it. Most of it was sitting there, so it was not right
Hmm.
for that customer to be complaining when he'd eaten it already.
Well,
So you knew
yeah,
that he was coming up there to get his stuff for free. Normally, if a customer were that irate about something, they'd take one bite out of it, and then go to the extreme.
depends on whether they're actually just trying to get a free meal, which this guy might have been trying to get a free meal. And that's one of the reasons why Brad is a little snippy with him. But he
I'm
also,
sorry, sir. I believe that there's some kind of form that I need you to
yeah,
sign.
It's like he is trying to help him, but he's also trying to follow all the rules in part because he knows it'll piss the guy off. uh, and then we get that heated exchange. It says 100% guaranteed, you moron. Mister, if you don't shut up, I'm going to kick 100% of your ass.
Yeah, because unfortunately, he doesn't realize that no matter what, the customer is always right, and you have to bite your damn tongue.
The customer is always right, and they must be punished for their arrogance.
And you have to bite your tongue, basically, in lots of situations where you deal with a customer.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Brad, he lost his cool. It did not work for him.
Yeah, nobody told Brad that he wasn't working in a bar where you could tell the guy off.
Yeah.
Nowadays, that customer is always right is not always right. So,
if you work with a customer at any job you work with a customer, they'll still enforce that on you and still train you that way. Except for if you're working on like a bar, unless it's a high-end bar. But if you work at a regular bar, they don't tell you that because you don't have to follow. You don't have to follow that.
I think it depends on the bar. Like the one I worked at, you did at least. I think like the lead bartenders had more leeway than the kind of people starting out like I did. The bartender does have a lot more leeway to lay down the law than most jobs. That's for sure.
Right, but I'm talking about a regular corner bar. You didn't know there's not lead bartenders or things like that. The regular corner bar. Some customer pisses you off. You could tell them that you can do exactly what Brad did, and then you can tell them where the damn door is. So.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't do if you were bartending at like a resort or a country club or things like that. No, you wouldn't be able to get away with that. No. But your regular corner bar, yes, they don't follow that customer always right etiquette.
Well, that's about when the manager steps in and turns around and fires his butt.
Well, Hamilton, did you threaten this customer or use profanity in any way? Well, you started it. He called me a moron, Dennis. Did you threaten this customer or use profanity in any way? Yes. Well, you're fired. Of course, the customer has a shit-eating grin on his face, like he's happy. But yeah.
Alrighty, so that happens, and then I guess he gets he gets hired at a
I think they call it Captain Hooks.
Yeah, Captain Hooks, but maybe it might be similar to like a Long John Silver's type.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah. But he's got to like wear this pirate hat with a turtleneck, vests, shirt, and whatnot, and I think
his boss doesn't understand why he's not proud to wear that costume.
No. So he sends him on an essential run. And he makes him wear the costume because evidently he was trying to change into a street clothes, and the dude's like, "What are you doing?"
Yep.
I'm trying to change into my street clothes. I thought I'd wear my street clothes to it. Put your costume back on. Have some pride.
You're right.
So while he's drive, and he's actually beginning to eat whatever food is there.
Well,
I thought
he
that was kind
tries
of
to,
funny.
and he's like, "Ugh."
Yeah.
He's not a fan of the product.
Evidently. And then,
Yeah.
of course, he sees some hot chick in evidently a sported up car, and he thought she was like,
Making eyes at him.
"Yep," but realized that that as soon as she sped up the car, she was just playing with him, and then he looked in the mirror. It was like the stupid pirate hat, you know. But
And interesting side note: did that's a cameo from Nancy Wilson of Heart, the future Miss Cameron Crowe. She gets her little, brief moment in the film.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
so ultimately, okay, now let's go over to Mike Damone.
Mm-hmm.
So Mike Damone, is your he's technically your go-to man if you want. Basically, he's your ticket scalper. You know,
Yeah.
your bookie dealer.
Mm-hmm.
Your street hustler.
Mm-hmm.
So to speak, and it's not just in the high school. It's at the mall
Mm-hmm.
and on your typical downtown street or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So he's actually kind of getting around, you know,
Mm-hmm.
man about town, so to speak. So he's got some streetwiseness about him,
He's sort of
and
like, I think you could say, him and Brad are kind of both similar, kind of cut from the same basic cloth, but Brad is more like the upstanding suburban kind of, this is, I guess, the trajectory that you expect your all American kid to take. And Damone is more like you said, more the hustler, more like the street level, but they're very similar in a lot of ways and just present themselves differently. um, but Damone is also very cocky and very full of
well, yeah,
wisdom.
he speaks to Rat about what he calls the attitude,
Yes,
um,
yes. Don't walk into a
which
room, move. Yeah.
but he's the one that actually pushes him into
Mm-hmm.
asking Stacy for her number and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So he
Mm-hmm.
he kind of helps Rat kind of get his confidence into asking her out
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of helps him into the relationship at first, but
Well, and he has his I think he calls it the 5-point plan that he shares with them. And I see it listed here on IMDb. It's like first of all, you never let on how much you like a girl. 2, you always call the shots. You know. Now 3, act like wherever you are, that's the place to be. Or when ordering food, you find out what she wants, then order for the both of you. It's a classic move. And 5, now this is the most important, Rat. When it comes down to making out, whenever possible, put on side 1 of Led Zeppelin 4.
That was the best. That was the best part right there.
Now, Tammy, I have to ask you because I know you're a Led Zeppelin fan.
Okay, here
Supposedly, what's up?
here's the attitude talk that Mike Damone
Yeah,
says. But that's the idea, Rat. That's the attitude. The
yeah,
attitude, yeah, the attitude dictates that you don't care whether she comes, stays, lays, or prays.
yeah,
I mean, whatever happens, your
Okay,
toes are still
yeah.
tapping.
So,
he was gonna ask me something.
Go
yeah.
ahead.
So, like I said, I know you're a Zeppelin fan. So, like I said, I watched a lot of the bonus stuff, And Crow and Heckerling talked about this a couple of times in a couple different places. Apparently, because we have that speech where he says, put on Led Zeppelin 4. And then I think it cuts directly to Rat and Stacy in the car, if I'm remembering correctly. And they're playing Kashmir, which I believe is from Physical Graffiti.
Yep.
And Crow said that for years, people would come up to him and say, "You guys had the wrong Led Zeppelin song in the movie. That's not from Led Zeppelin 4."
No, it's not.
Yeah. Now, there were apparently a very real logistical reason for that. Apparently, they could not get the rights to that album. And Zeppelin's stuff is hard to license in the first place. Apparently, it is hard as shit to license their stuff. And when the movie was made, it was nearly impossible. And it was probably mostly because of Cameron Crowe's contacts in the world of rock that they were able to get any Zeppelin. So that's the logistical reason why there was nothing from Led Zeppelin 4. But the story that Crow and Heckerling apparently tell when this comes up, and tell me your thoughts on this, is they're like, Rat would be so clueless that he wouldn't even realize he's playing the wrong Led Zeppelin song. You know? And I'm like, that's a pretty good explanation for it.
Yeah.
But I got to say something really quick, David. Your movie now plays.
Oh.
My movie now plays?
Yes, it does.
Oh.
Okay.
Isn't that something?
I did an update on the Blu-ray player, and I re-cleaned the back of the DVD, the Blu-ray player, and it now plays the Blu-ray CD, or the Blu-ray, and
so it actually had an update to update your Blu-ray player.
Yeah, and the Blu-ray player actually, when I went to do the update, was actually no longer connected to our internet, so it wasn't updating.
Oh,
interesting.
So, and I re-cleaned the back of the actual disc, and now it plays. So it's actually in there right now. So if you wanted to be able to check on these things that Jacob is telling you about, it's in there and it plays.
Okay, then maybe we'll watch it again. Maybe tomorrow night.
Okay.
Okay. No, tomorrow night I'll be at work. So, but anyway.
Well, fine. I'll watch it tomorrow night. Booyah.
The hell you will. I'm the one that got the play. I'll tell that Blu-ray player to eject me yet.
Oh, good time.
You can't win. You can't win.
I've got it trained.
And unfortunately, I can't just just wait to play it because they've now set in motion that I got to be at work the rest of the week at 4. So
fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got that Blu-ray player trained, so it's not.
All right.
If you got a train, then it would play every disc. But anyway. But anyways, back to Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
All right.
And we watched that movie today. So Dazed and Confused. We didn't exactly do it back to back, but I at least watched it close enough to the time that we viewed this again. So,
which is also a movie we should cover one of these days.
Yes,
but
while being dazed and confused. Anyways,
so then we go to this date. Another thing that Crow and Heckerling said is that they felt like Kashmir feels so ominous that it was appropriate for their date. And it is kind of an ominous feeling song. It's kind of like
Well,
dun, 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 dun.
and to be honest, my favorite Zeppelin song is
Mhm.
Casimir. So,
Oh, okay.
um, but I know Tammy has other favorites. So,
Hmm.
um,
I was just gonna say, if they were gonna pick a song from four though,
Yeah.
from side two, right? They
Hmm.
said.
I think it was side one, but
I thought they said side two.
ah. Da, 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 da. I know I was just looking at the quotes and now I've lost them because well, I don't know. Whatever.
oh,
uh, but well, go ahead. You were going to say,
me?
It
no, so no, side one. It is side one.
it is side one that they
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
Um, I thought you said side two, but whatever.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
don't I don't
side
know what
from side one.
I'm just looking to see what would be a good song for making out, on Zeppelin 4. It's like, really? I mean, everybody knows Stairway.
Right.
Rock and roll is actually my ringtone on my phone. Um, Going to California wouldn't be a bad one. But
Hmm. Well,
when the levee breaks is kind of ominous too, you know.
I guess given that they live in California, going to California sounds logical.
I don't think they were really thinking that far ahead when they were mentioning the album.
Well, I'm just saying if he's trying to say put Zeppelin 4 on, for making out, it's like, well, what
I think
song did you really think would be a good?
I think that might be the point. I could be. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in Damone's head, but my guess would be that maybe he was thinking it's something that sounds cool, that's not too lovey-dovey. Maybe that's why he's thinking it. I don't know, but
Okay, because yeah, because
Or
there,
or
side
maybe
one was
because sometimes Damone says something different but means something entirely different than what he's saying sometimes. So maybe he was saying Led Zeppelin 4 when it should have been physical graffiti.
I don't know. I was just re-looking over it to see what songs it would actually kind of,
right.
but okay.
Okay, so of course they go on that date, and he
Where
gets
they
all
have
nervous,
the
and
cartoonishly oversized chairs and the huge menus and all, and
yeah,
the angry looking German woman.
yeah, and of course they have um the end of the date where she comes on to him and
Well,
makes him nervous as hell, and
well, first of all, there's the sad part where he realizes he left his wallet at home,
oh
so he
yeah,
has to
so he
call
calls
Damone
his
to bring.
friend Mike,
Yeah,
and he's like, "You really owe me."
right.
So, yeah, and of
Mhm.
course, he plays it off pretty
Yeah.
good. It's just,
Hmm.
it's like awkward as fuck, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the date that then ends at her home. She she basically comes on to him, and
Yeah.
they kiss a little bit, but because the guy's too much of a virgin, he backs away, backs off and backs away,
Mhm.
and he shies away from the uh experience that he could have had, and in so doing, makes her think he's not interested, and then of course her friend Linda tells her to just forget about him.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's about where we were before. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then she gets interested in Mike, Stacy,
Mm-hmm.
and what happened? Oh yeah,
Well, she comes on to him pretty hard. So
yeah. She definitely does.
yeah.
And then she invites him over for tea.
Well, I think the first thing was where he crashes their pool party, right? It was like he and Rat drop by the house randomly when she's hanging out with Linda, and they she kind of I think she kind of probably takes a fancy to him then, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
But the and meanwhile Linda is kind of like, yeah, okay, what are they doing? You know?
Well, and he's trying. Mike's trying to tell her, "Hey, my friend Rat really likes you,
Yeah,
and I don't want to tread on
yeah.
whatever ground that y'all have been already forming." You
And
know.
that when they were all at the pool, I believe was when Brad comes in with his silly uniform and basically skulks into the house like I've got work to do. But then immediately you see him at the window looking at Linda, and then we have that famous scene. I'm pretty sure this was all where this famous scene took place. Um, the one that again supposedly
Mm.
every VHS copy of this movie apparently skipped at a certain point after a while. um, but yeah, we have Brad fantasizing, and Linda walks in on him and has a very. She's a little taken aback.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah,
I don't think that fantasization was in the copy that we watched.
I doubt
So.
it if you watch the TV version. Yeah.
Okay, so basically,
There
what
was some fantasization, but I might not. They might not have shown the full fantasy
Oh, they
show.
definitely didn't show the full thing on the televised one. There was some minor nudity involved. Uh,
No, they
but
show in the fantasy. They show her undoing the top of her swimsuit,
right.
but you don't see anything. You see her undo it, and then she's against him.
Yeah, you
So
definitely see that in the movie.
you know that
In
she
the
yeah, you know that she undid it,
yeah.
but you don't see anything.
And apparently that do you see her walk in on him in the bathroom and get that disgusted look and
Yeah.
yeah. So apparently that was a genuine reaction. Actually, the way Heckerling tells it, I feel they must have done multiple takes because the way she described Phoebe Cates' reaction is not what I see in the movie. It was much more extreme. But apparently, uh, ju- Judge Reinhold brought a giant dildo to the set and was using that as a prop. And she did not know that. And she walked in on him with the dildo. And apparently she had a genuinely shocked reaction that really made Heckerling loves to tell that story, apparently. Yeah, it's interesting. But anyway, the
that sounds like some shenanigans
oh yeah,
that
oh yeah,
would definitely be a good story to tell
right,
when one is young.
right.
But
Well,
in any case,
in
so
any case,
the the relationship of Mike Damone and Stacy kind of sort of develop. sexual interest in
Mhm.
each other, and so he kind of comes over to her place. She offers him sweet tea, and they in turn uh, have kind of a time together,
The scene that originally got the movie an X rating. Yes.
which did not show up in the TV version, I don't think.
Yeah.
But we we do get a moment where um ultimately she ends up showing up or she tries to run into him, um and he's evidently trying to avoid her,
Yeah.
but she ultimately stops him to basically tell him that she's pregnant.
Hmm.
And at first he's balking and saying, how do you know it's mine?"
Right.
And she's like, "I didn't sleep with anyone but you."
And see, this is the part where you guys said earlier that she'd already lost her virginity. This was the scene that made me think that no, he was the first one she had sex with. She
No,
probably had a sexual encounter with someone else.
no. In fact, the next day after she had sex with Ron, she was talking to Linda about how uncomfortable it
No,
was. She was like, "The
I
more you
swear
have it."
Linda. I swear Linda's the one who said how much it hurts. I could be wrong about that, but I swear she was the one who said how much it hurts.
No, it was Stacy who was saying how much it hurt.
Well, again, in this
Yeah,
scene, then
and she
in
said
this
yes
scene,
to
I
Linda.
do I okay, so I'll watch the movie again. I do plan to watch the television version so that I can put this version at rest. But and so again, maybe I saw it differently. Uh, but
You know, she could have
in
just been.
this scene, I really do not think Stacy is lying to Mike. I think she is being 100% honest, and she told him he was the only one. So either she's straight up lying, or I'm remembering things correctly, one or the
Well,
other.
maybe she lied. Maybe she lied about the other guy. You know, because she didn't want to. She wanted it to look like she did it.
She probably did. I mean, they're at that age; they were doing a lot of bragging. You know,
You know, they
there is a theory that Linda doesn't have a boyfriend, that she's faking the whole thing.
right. So maybe
Uh,
Stacy lied to her
yeah,
about Ron
right,
because she knew that her and Ron were getting together. So maybe she wanted to make it look like something happened to her
right,
friend, but it really didn't. You know.
yeah.
So
Well, all I can say is you can never trust someone named Ron Johnson. But anyway, uh, yeah. So they do have that scene, and I do want to mention a couple of things. And again, one thing that Heckerling and Crow talk about is how this movie literally made it in under the wire. Like the studio got cold feet and tried to kill the movie. And they are of the opinion that had the movie been made any later, it probably never would have been released. If they had started it any later, it never would have been made. And one of the reasons why is how frankly they talk about the sex lives of teenagers. And the issue of abortion is a big, big, big part of why they said this movie never would have been made 2 years later. Um, and it is a big plot point at that point. And I'm just going to say, for my part, Mike, his response could have been worse, but I have a colleague who's fond of the phrase, "Sir, I'm going to need you to calm down." And I think that applies to his response when he told her, I'm sorry, I'm of the opinion that a guy never tells a girl to get an abortion. And he told her, and I'm like, he wasn't as forceful about it as some guys were. And I will say he did give it the old college try to support her. He ended up bitching out at the end, but he gave it the old college try. So he could have had a worse reaction, but he did lose a lot of points with his initial reaction. I'll say that. But anyway.
But yeah, he does look like he's actually trying to come up with the money.
Oh yeah.
For the operation.
Yeah.
It's just she's having it way too soon in order for him to come up with enough dough for it. So,
well, it did
I mean, if
catch
he'd have
him on
been
the
able to
back
get
foot.
that 50 that the one dude owed him,
Mm-hmm.
he probably would have been set.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
well, she pretty much told him that you know, I'm going to do this, you know, and if you want to help, you can.
with or without you.
Yeah. And again, he did give it the old college try, but he did give up too easily. And he didn't even bother to show. I guess, you know, maybe he was ashamed he couldn't raise the money, but it's like, you know, he could have at least showed up. You know, that's kind of, but whatever.
Yep.
Let her know what he was really made of. But at any rate, yeah, and they talk about this as like the down part of the movie, like the serious part of the movie, and kind of when it's over, they kind of move on to lighter things, you know.
They treat the abortion like something that could easily happen, and they'd be able to get it done and over with, and then they can move on with their life as if nothing ever happened. You know.
Speaking of getting it done and over with, you guys, I guess you didn't really see the scene the where the two of them got together in the first place. It was over with fast.
Yeah.
It was over with fast. It was interesting. But yeah, but
I guess they don't spend too much time in the porno department, I guess.
oh no, I'm just meaning like Damone apparently didn't have that much stamina, if you know what I mean.
Which is why they when he got to school, I did kind of like this. It was written small prick on his locker.
I think little prick. Yeah, that's what
Little
Linda was
prick.
calling him. That little prick. That's someone that didn't click on his car, you know. Yeah. He yeah. He has a little bit of a ding to his reputation, that's for sure. But
okay, I guess we lost you for a moment.
Yep, I got kicked out. Sorry.
Okay.
But okay, so what happens next is, well, of course, the smear campaign of Linda, and then I do believe that it's Rat and Stacy that ultimately see each other from across the way, and because she's still working at the pizza parlor, and he's still working as an usher, and she motions for him to come over, and he does. should I mention the moment where he takes the teacher Vargas takes them by the dead cadaver and pulls out the innards and
I think I think this was right after the scene.
where
Okay,
she'd
so
actually
okay, we should
and
talk. What?
Judge Reinhold's character Brad.
Yes, I was gonna.
He yeah.
I was going to say we should talk about the abortion clinic scene because it is the moment that redeems Brad. I think because he ends up she asks him on the spur of the moment to give her a ride because Damone didn't show, and she asks him to take her bowling. She said, and he sees her in his rearview mirror going across the street. And then when, she lies to the nurse and says that, oh, my boyfriend's picking me up. I'll go, I'll wait for him down, outside. And she goes and Brad is waiting for her. And he just tells her basically like, he just lets her know, I'm not going to pry. You're my sister. I'm just going to be here for you. And it's a good moment for him. He gets a nice little bit of redemption there. But
Yep.
it's a good moment of showing their dynamic as siblings because, they do have that sibling dynamic going on pretty well.
Well, yeah, and he promises to not tell their parents
Right.
at any given point in time.
Right.
So, which makes them bond.
Right.
But in any case, so they're with the dead cadaver, and
Yes.
he it looks like more like a mummy than it does
Yeah.
like a dead cadaver. But he pulls out like the heart
Yeah.
and the liver and
Vargas is entirely too into that.
oh yeah, he's enjoying what he's
Yes.
doing, and of course. A little bit later is when he pulls his wife. Was it at the dance?
At the dance, yes. But in this scene, he pulls out the heart, and then Spicoli's like, "Oh no, no!" When they're going into the morgue, Vargas snags Spicoli by the arm, and he's like, "Are you in my class?"
I
Well,
am
I
today.
And then when he pulls out the heart, and when he pulls out the heart, Spicoli's like, "Man, that's gnarly." And the way Crow and Heckerling tell it, apparently Sean Penn decided to improvise every reaction you could think of. And apparently they just let the camera roll, and he did like a dozen different reactions, and they went with gnarly because, and they loved it. But both of them said it was one of the funniest pieces of film they've ever seen. And apparently the studio threw it out. It no longer exists.
Huh.
And so it's really unfortunate. That would have been a fun B-roll, like deleted scene, I think. But apparently the studio thought so little of this that they threw away a lot of the footage. But
sounds like the studio was whoever was behind the studio at the time were idiots.
Right.
But in any case, so speaking of Spicoli, we haven't touched on him for a little bit. Him and Ray Wellston, they were back to back with each other. I mean, he embarrassed him for saying I don't know, and used said, you know what? I'm going to use your words and give you all the credit to the rest of my classes. And he's like, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the first time he shows up late. He shows up for the first, and he's like, this is U.S. history. I see the globe right there. It's like, but
Well,
like,
you know where the front office is.
yeah.
Learn where to learn to find it.
Hey, you're ripping my card. Yes. Hey, bud, what's your problem? No problem at all. I think you know where the front office is. You dick. And apparently, Cameron Crowe wanted really, really, really bad to hear Sean Penn say that, and Penn wouldn't say it until they were filming the scene. But my favorite part, I will admit, there were a couple parts in the movie that I've always remembered. And my favorite part is the scene where they're teaching class and the guy shows up at the door and Mr. Hand goes and unlocks the door. And he's like the pizza delivery guy. And Spicoli's like, oh yeah, man, here. And he counts out his money, pays the guy. Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing? Learning about Cuba and having some food. Mr. Spicoli, you're on dangerous ground here. You're causing a major disturbance on my time. And this is the quote for the ages. I've been thinking about this, Mr. Hand. If I'm here and you're here, doesn't that make it our time? Certainly, there's nothing wrong with a little feast on our time. And Spicoli's like, he takes the pizza. You're absolutely right, Mr. Spicoli. It is our time. Yours, mine, and everyone else's in the room. But it is my class. And he calls up the students. Mr. Spicoli has been kind enough to bring us a snack. Be my guest. Help yourselves. And he takes a piece. And the look of utter despair on Spicoli's face.
I was just gonna say that. The look on his face was like, but, that's my pizza.
And apparently Rat was the one who did that in real life. The character that Rat is based on was the one that ordered the pizza. And he was actually jealous they gave the role to Spicoli because he's like, you gave all my cool stuff away and left me with the bad stuff. But apparently over the years, he came to appreciate the movie a little bit, you know. But apparently Crowe did that on purpose. He took bits and pieces of the characters and mixed and matched so that nobody was a carbon copy of a real person. Which, you know, the names have been changed to protect the innocent kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But apparently the guy who did Rat actually pointed that out and said, I'm the one that ordered the pizza. It's like, but I love that scene. I love doesn't that make it our time? And Mr. Hand's response, I love that scene. It's but and then the scene where he shows up with a bagel stuck in the waistband of his pants.
And then, of course, it's the night of the dance.
Yeah.
And Mr. Hand comes over to Spicoli's house. Mm-hmm. And basically told him, you know what? You spent all this time wasting my time.
He said, by my calculations, you have wasted 8 hours of my time this year. So... Yes.
We are going to spend that time going over U.S. history. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, man.
Yep. And it's...
And he actually kind of surprises Mr. Hand
right.
by knowing a few things by the end of it. But
so what Jefferson was saying, hey, we left this English place because it was bogus. So if we don't get some cool rules ourselves, pronto, we'll just be bogus too. Which is not quite how it went down, but and I think Hand's response was something like, not quite, Mr. Spicoli, but close. Something to that effect. Yeah.
But ultimately, I guess he was let go from that 8 hours of punishment.
I don't think it was a full 8 hours. I think Mr. Hand appreciated that he got some time, and it was probably more like a couple hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, they enjoyed trying to annoy each other way too much
Yes.
on screen as well as I think off.
Yes.
But ultimately,
Hey, buddy.
at the end of everything, we get um okay, so we get Rat and Stacy kind of sort of back together.
Mm-hmm.
And then we start getting some words happening about each of
Oh, well,
the characters.
first we got to mention that we find out that Brad now works for the local, basically Quick Stop, like the local convenience store. I can't, a Minute Mart or some such
Oh
thing.
yeah.
And Spicoli comes in. He's like, "Hey, I know you. You used to work at the All American or something like that."
Yeah.
And they end up having a little bit of a brief little tete-a-tete where Brad he's chilled, but he still has that kind of a little bit higher than thou thing. Why don't you get a job, Spicoli? What for? You need money. All I need is some tasty waves, a cool buzz, and I'm fine. He goes back to the restroom, and dude comes in with a gun, trying to rob the place. And Spicoli comes out and kind of distracts him. And when he does that, Brad like grabs a coffee pot, smacks the guy across the face, and just takes him over, takes the gun away from him. And Spicoli's like cheering him on.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, dude, that was like totally gnarly.
Right,
I thought he just threw the hot coffee in his face.
Yeah. Something like that. But then he jumps over the counter and takes him down a little bit. We should say though, I also want to back up real quick. A couple things about the dance is we do have that scene where we meet Vargas's wife, and it's kind of hilarious. But when Spicoli shows up, he rolls up in his van and like they was it that scene or an earlier scene? I think it was the earlier scene where he literally fell out of the van. But there's a couple of scenes where it's like the smoke just billows out.
Right.
Right.
And that's that Volkswagen van that always had the shagadelic carpet on the inside,
Yeah. And we kind of skipped over a whole thing. We haven't really talked at all about Jefferson, which was Forrest Whitaker's character. And he also had a cherry car that he was really, really, really proud of and really protective of. And there's a part where Spicoli and his brother go joyriding in the car.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that was the part where Spicoli is like driving right down the middle of the road, like down the middle of the lane between cars. And he's like, people of lewd should not drive.
Like, and then, of course, eventually he crashes the car, and the brother is like, "Oh man, my brother's gonna kill us."
Yeah, he's like, "My brother's going to kill us. He's going to kill us. He's going to kill you, and he's going to kill me. He's going to kill us." Hey man, just be glad I had fast reflexes. My brother's going to shit. Make up your mind, dude. Is he going to shit or is he going to kill us? First he's going to shit, then he's going to kill us. It's like, but they have this
hey man, I can fix this.
No, like,
you can't. It can't. Then he kind of looks at the windshield and whatnot.
He's like, my old man is a television repairman. He's got this ultimate set of tools. I can fix it. And the way they fix it is there's getting ready to be this big match against Lincoln High. And they set it up to look like the Lincoln team trashed the car. and sure enough, when the game happens, Jefferson annihilates the other team. He is pissed.
In fact, every single person who ends up having the ball is sacked.
Right.
by Forrest Whitaker
Right.
character,
Right.
You
and
know,
it
it's kind of an
works.
ingenious thing that he did though about because he knew he couldn't fix that car.
Yeah.
So what he ended
Right.
up doing
Well,
was kind of ingenious.
he
Because
fixed it in a way. He
Yeah.
fixed it so that they would survive.
yeah,
But
that was
yeah,
funny.
I
He
just
was like,
thought that
"I
scene
can
was
fix
worth mentioning.
anything. Just give me tools." And
Yeah.
he kind of peers over the hood, and he's like, "Yeah, I can fix that." It's like I'm sitting here going, "Yeah, right, dude. You can fix that with
Yeah.
just a couple tools."
I bet you appreciated him like, hey, my dad's a TV repairman. It's like, yeah, television and car are a little different.
Yeah, I knew some simple tools was not gonna fix what he did.
Right, right. But
Alrighty. So, do we remember exactly where many of these people ended up
uh,
at the end with the
I
words?
believe IMDb has it listed under crazy credits. Let me see if I can bring that up real quick. And apparently, this also was something that Heckerling was not a fan of. She said the studio insisted on it. But it works well enough. It says so Brad Hamilton, made manager of Mitty Mart, June 12th. Mike Damone, busted for scalping Ozzy Osbourne tickets, now works at 7-Eleven. Mr. Vargas switched back to coffee. Linda Barrett, attending college at Riverside, now living with her abnormal psych professor. Rat and Stacy having a passionate love affair, but they still haven't gone all the way. Mr. Hand convinced everyone is on dope. Jeff Spicoli saved Brooke Shields from drowning, blows reward money hiring Van Halen to play his birthday party. Yeah. So there you go. Seems appropriate.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And so, at the end of everything, what
Mhm.
do we think about production overall?
I think it was pretty good. I think it was
Mhm.
pretty true. You
Mhm.
know, they didn't have to do any elaborate um stuff or whatever. I mean, to make the scenes happen, it was pretty
Mhm.
straightforward.
Mhm.
It definitely looked like the school. It looked like, you know, um, the only thing that they had maybe a little ingenuity for was that crash,
Yeah.
to make that happen. But for the, you know, for effects, there was nothing that they had to really go overboard for effects, or anything
Yeah.
out. It all looked pretty authentic and real, and the costumes and
Mhm.
the plot, the different plots that were going on. It just,
Mhm.
I think they did a good job.
Okay.
I think most of the locations were on location, but they did kind of fudge a few things. I think Tammy, you said something at the beginning about how this reminded you of like a mix of two malls or something.
Yes.
Uh, but like it actually was. They apparently filmed the exteriors at one mall and the interiors at a different mall, so they did kind of mix two malls. Um, and apparently, some of the characters' rooms were sets, but most of the rest of it was actual location shots, maybe dressed up a little bit here and there, with fake signage and whatnot. Um,
I
I
definitely liked a lot of the vehicles in it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of very definite like early '80s vibe to the look of this. It really, um, and apparently, the checked shoes that Sean Penn wore apparently became a big thing for a few years after this movie came out. There was some
I
product
remember that.
placement.
I do
Yeah,
remember a lot of people wearing those.
right. But as far as production, a couple things I read that were kind of interesting. One was it's interesting that this is a movie about high schoolers where they tried really, hard to have them look like high schoolers. Like Jennifer Jason Leigh was 19, but she looked young. She could pass more or less for 15. She definitely could pass for 16, 17, no question. Phoebe Cates was 18. She was the second youngest member of the main cast. Nicolas Cage lied. He was 17. He lied and said he was 18 so he could get a bigger part. But because of child labor laws, he could not star in the movie. They actually wanted him for Brad. But one, he was considered down. Like him and Jennifer Jason Leigh were considered down, and they didn't want to have two down people playing siblings. They wanted someone who was a little more upbeat, so they picked Judge Reinhold. But also, Nicolas Cage was too young to star in the movie, so they gave him like a bit role to kind of, so he could be in it because they all wanted him. So it's like, and apparently this is the one of only two movies where he is credited as Nicholas Coppola. The other one being the unbearable weightness of the unbearable weight of massive talent, okay. Which was a great movie. I love that one. We need to do that one of these years. But I learned a lot of fun behind the scenes stuff on this one. So the production, it sounded like Heckerling and Crow worked closely together on this movie. And apparently a couple of their producers were in their corner, and they were all against the studio. The studio hated this movie. They tried to kill it. They undermined it. When the movie came out, it only came out on the West Coast. But then after a few weeks, they realized how popular it was, and they expanded to the East Coast. It's like, it was very interesting reading about that. But I do think that it's worth noting the production of it. They were trying for authenticity. They were really trying for it, and I think they kind of pulled it off. I mean, so. But I mean, Tammy, you were more that generation, and you said that it worked. So that's cool. I was too young to really get this point in time. So
I was like, at 82, I was 10, but I mean, like that.
You were older than I was.
When they, the portrayal, the time period that they're portraying, though, actually pretty much did fit for when I got to high school. I mean, it wasn't that far off. It's like, it's not like I was sitting here going, like if they were portraying the 70s, like in Dazed and Confused, they're portraying 1976. Mm-hmm. So, there was a lot of things in that movie that I would not say reminded me of high school, okay?
Right.
Because I was only 4 years old when the year they're portraying in that movie,
Mm-hmm. The interestingly enough, Dazed and Confused came out when I was a little older than 10, but I would be more close to the age you were with this when that one came out. So if that had been a contemporary movie, it would be a good one for me for like, oh, I get that. But no, it was set in the 70s. So it's a little, Mallrats would be a little closer for me, I guess, although those characters were older. The one that's closest for my high school experience is American Pie, even though it's not very accurate to my high school experience. It's just in terms of the age and a lot of the elements. It's my generation,
Right.
But this one's a little more down to earth than American Pie, though.
And this is a little bit more from my generation.
Yeah. But
Dazed and Confused is before my generation.
Right. But it's but yeah, I do think it's really cool that and we should also mention this was Amy Heckerling's first feature film. Okay. She's done a few others since then, but this was her first. I think she did one short film before this. And And Cameron Crowe didn't direct anything for a while after this. This was, I think, his first screenplay. I think I need to check on that, but I think this was his first screenplay. So we had a couple first timers who were kind of learning the ropes of filmmaking as it was. So that's kind of cool.
Okay.
But yeah.
And I thought production was pretty good. I mean, I didn't read the book or nothing,
Yeah.
but from what I gather,
I should read the
it
book.
seems like it was relatively truthful to some of the characters that were going on. And as you said, he kind of mixed it up to make it so that, you know, the characters weren't like carbon copies of their original people, you know.
Right. And the way they're portrayed in the movie deviates even a little further. Apparently, according to Robert Romanus, the way Damone is portrayed is something that was partly his. Like he wanted to bring sort of that Jersey Street vibe to it that was a little different than what was intended. And again, apparently, Heckerling and Crowe gave Penn all the credit in the world. Apparently, he did a lot to create his character the way he wanted to. Like they helped, but Spicoli was as much Sean Penn apparently as anything else, and so I doubt that character was exactly like that in real life. So there were a little bit of a change for the movies, a little bit, but
I liked the production overall. I think it went, and I think it flowed rather well together, and I think all the characters involved were interesting. Spicoli, I will remember. Just Reinhold in anything is bound to be entertaining, you know. He definitely brings a lot of flair to his characters that he portrays. So, yes.
I think one thing I really liked about it is it didn't seem far-fetched. You know,
it seemed like it could even happen currently, you know. Maybe it's a little restrained, but at the time, I mean, this was a zany comedy, and apparently, I haven't even seen the X-rated version. So,
yeah. Well, actually, that's a good. I want to mention under the production. So there are a couple of reasons for the X rating that the film almost got. One being the brief moment where Phoebe Cates is topless. One being the frequent suggestions of sex and drug use among teenagers. Suggestion nothing in some cases. Some of it's pretty blatant. But the big thing, the thing that almost did it in, apparently was the sex scene between Damone and Stacy, where in the original cut, you get full frontal nudity from Robert Romanus. And that cut is in the Criterion release, but they could not put that in theaters, so they had to recut that scene so that you see like a close-up of his face or something. And Heckerling talked about that in the commentary. She's like, okay, so we literally have Jennifer Jason Leigh sitting here naked. You can see most of it, but seeing Romanus briefly is a bridge too far. Apparently, this is R-rated, this is X-rated, and it is kind of bullshit.
It
You know,
is.
that's kind of so they, like I said, they recut it to get an R rating, but the Criterion version brought it back to what the original cut was, which
I mean, if
is
you think about it,
yeah.
there are so many movies out there that'll show the chest or the lower part, but a lot of extreme, well, a lot of times the chest of a woman.
Yeah.
But how often do you see the front of a man?
Right.
I mean,
Right.
There's plenty of movies where I've seen this naked butt
Yeah.
butt of a man. Okay.
Yeah.
But percentage wise, there's hardly any movies out there that show the front of a man.
Yeah. It also feeds into that whole stupid bullshit of how prudish Americans tend to be when it comes to anything sexual. It's weird. It's
Yeah,
you can be as violent as you want,
but
be as violent.
But you can't show nudity.
Exactly. And again, this movie, they talked about how the door was closing and they just got like Indiana Jones running under, getting his hat just in time. This was at the beginning of the Reagan 80s. You know, if they had gotten just a couple years later, yeah, there's no way they would have gotten that it would have flown. It's crazy that, you know, it's crazy that all through the 80s, really over the top stuff made it. But the fact that this movie tried to be straightforward and down to earth might have been the part that people couldn't handle. You know?
Maybe it was just too true for them, you know?
Right. But anyway.
Alrighty. So, I know we somewhat talked about music, but very briefly, and you said that you wanted to talk about the soundtrack.
Well, apparently, raised on the radio by the Ravens, Heckerling did not like that song and did not want it in the movie. And apparently, that was one of the ones the studios really were pushing. And it is heavily featured in the movie.
And who did the composing music?
At least I think that was the song. Yeah. Okay, so the ones that she, as I understand it, Speeding by the Go-Go's, I think was one that she had kind of wanted in there. She fought for Oingo Boingo's Goodbye Goodbye, which plays at the end credits. She fought for that one, and it did end up in there. And we already talked about the Led Zeppelin song. But a lot of these others were chosen by the studio. Now, I'll admit, I love me some Tom Petty, American Girl, I think was the one that played. I love that. And that was, I thought, good in the movie. And a couple of the other songs, Oh, no, We Got the Beat was the Go-Go's one that I think there's a couple Go-Go songs in here, but We Got the Beat was the one I was thinking of. That's the one that plays in the opening, I believe. And then you got a few other, Somebody's Baby by Jackson Browne gets played repeatedly. I guess it's Stacy's theme pretty much. And you get a couple others in there too. Like I said, there was a lot of, let's just say she did not love the final thing, but this soundtrack was hugely successful. People did love this soundtrack. And from what I understand, it did make some money. But
now, who composed the composing music?
No one did. Actually, I was getting ready to say that. Heckerling talks about that. They apparently had a composer lined up, and somehow it fell through. So what she did was she actually was a graduate of the American Film Institute, and apparently she went through their library and pulled out uh, free use music from like old Universal horror movies and things like that. Um, she basically just found bits and pieces of free use music that worked for the movie.
Okay.
So yeah, yeah.
Alrighty. So I guess that'll bring us into favorite scenes and our favorite characters. So,
Mm-hmm.
Tammy, who was a favorite character of yours, and what were some of your favorite scenes?
Oh boy. uh, what's this? How do you say his name again? Sean Penn's dude.
Sean Spicoli.
Spicoli. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like him.
Gnarly dude.
I think I like him because if I would have known somebody like that, well, I kind of did. My best friend Justin was somewhat like that. Dale was Dale was even more like that. Dale was, and I had so much fun when I would hang around with them too. Yeah, so he kind of reminds me of like the two of them. And for scenes, geez, I mean, I really do like that pizza scene. That was good.
Which one?
That was just it was the look on his face when hand goes and like gives away his pizza. Like,
right.
Like, oh man, dude, and of course, I have to admit that at the time I was around people that yes they'd open up the car door and all the smoke would come out. So when the van opens up and they fall out, all the smoke's coming out. It's like, yeah, okay. I've seen that one before. Yep.
Right.
So, yeah, there was quite a few scenes that made me laugh and made me think about those days, and like I said, made me think about a lot of things that I got away with. That's for sure.
Especially to think one of them went on to be a famed ER doctor.
Right. Mark, if I remember his name. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like I don't want to sit here and there was just too many to list, but yeah, it was. So.
Okay. Heading over to you, Jake. Favorite character and favorite scene. And I might go back to you, Tammy, and ask you what's your maybe favorite zany, I would have to say, X-rated comedy.
X-rated. Wow.
Well, R-rated, X-rated, I guess, to the point of, probably could not be made today. Go ahead, Jake.
Did you have one, Tammy, or do we need to come back to you on that?
I'm thinking.
Okay. Well, I might have to think on that too, but we'll, yeah, I mean, obviously everyone loves Spicoli and he is hilarious. Just so that I'm not just completely doing the most mainstream, I do like Stacy. She's the kind of character I tend to I tend to like those kind of character, I guess. And I will say, Mr. Hand, he was a hard ass, but you could tell that he was a pretty he took his job seriously. I respect that.
I
I
have to say it, just to interrupt for a second. I do like Stacy too in a way, but I like Stacy because she kind of reminds me of me.
uh,
That she looked innocent, but she really wasn't.
right,
Yeah. So
and I got to admit, I had a bit of a crush on Jennifer Jason Leigh after I saw this movie. There were a couple other movies too. She is a very attractive woman, and she's had some great roles over the years. She actually co-directed a movie. I don't know if you guys have ever seen or heard of this movie. I think she co-directed it with Alan Cumming, called The Anniversary Party.
Never
Um,
seen it, but
it-
Alan Cumming.
yeah,
I,
she
I
wrote.
I know him. Isn't he hosting the Traders?
Yes, and
Oh,
he's the one. He played Nightcrawler in X2. He'll be coming back in Avengers Doomsday in the role. But that was a movie they co-wrote, co-directed. Phoebe Cates does star in it, and there's a ton of other people: Kevin Kline, Parker Posey, John C. Riley. Pretty fun. I haven't seen it in years, but I did enjoy it. But I gave her at the time that that movie came out, I was looking into her stuff, and I was a pretty big fan. So that's also one reason why I'm partial to the character. But the scene, yeah, the pizza scene is just classic. It is absolutely classic. It is but I would say most of Spicoli's scenes with Mr. Hand are on the short list of great scenes. The two of them played off each other so very well. Uh, and there's probably a couple other, there's a lot of good moments in the movie, but I guess I'll go with those. As far as an X rated or nearly X rated comedy, Uh, hmm, my favorite one. That's kind of hard to say. um, I. It's like I said before. I do have a tremendous nostalgic fondness for American Pie. I do have a bit of a nostalgia for um, a couple of these movies. I'm trying to think of one that I maybe haven't really talked about or that people might not really know about. Uh, I think I've mentioned The Mating Habits of the Earthbound Human. That was one I really enjoyed that I think tends to fly under the radar. But that one actually wasn't so much that it was super raunchy. It's just that it was focused on things that people tend to be very prudish about. Yeah. I if I think of a better one before you're done, I'll let you know. But I'm kind of drawing a blank on that.
okay. All right, Tammy, have you come up with one?
I try to remember how much was in that. I thought I thought Animal House was kind of raunchy, wasn't it?
It was.
You
Yeah.
know, um, uh,
Is that the
what?
one that you think of when you're thinking like X rated or R rated?
Um, I guess for like if you're looking like more of like a comedy and stuff. I mean, you know, there was definitely sexual stuff in the Police Academy movies.
There was that.
Okay.
You know, so I guess it would kind of like be those. Um, you know, I'm not really into watching raunchy sex movies, so but when it's like in a comedy and things like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to raunchy sex comedies, I can choose the Naked Gun trilogy.
Yeah. No, they're
Yeah,
pretty good.
that's another one. Yeah.
Haven't seen those in years.
Or Wrongfully Accused. I kind of enjoyed
Hmm.
that one. Um,
I should also mention some of the, you could probably put some of Kevin Smith's movies in here too, theoretically at least. Missing Amy and Clerks might be worth mentioning, but yeah, they're not
Yeah, now that
usually
I know
thought of
what you
as.
guys are talking about, yes.
They're certainly talking about them, yes,
yeah,
and yep. And the
I
scene
didn't know
where
what you guys.
the scene where Randall is rattling off all those porn titles in front of that mother and daughter. It's like,
yeah,
Yeah, I didn't know for a long time though what you guys were talking about. Now I know, you know. So
right,
it's nice to be in the loop.
right. Now
but
you know, and knowing is half the battle.
I'll have to go with yeah. Spicoli is one of my Ray Wellston, Mr. Hand.
Yeah.
He was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I'll have to go with them two as like my favorite characters.
Apparently, Walston was upset that everyone always called him what is it, Uncle something or other from My Favorite Martian. I don't know the show. I just
Oh,
but
okay.
everyone knew him in that role. And when this movie came out, suddenly everyone knew him as Mr. Hand, and he was so thrilled that people were finally calling him something else.
Oh, if we're gonna talk about a sexy movie though that wasn't comedy, Embrace of the Vampire,
Okay.
the
Embrace
one
of the Vampire.
with Alyssa Milano in it,
Okay.
that was pretty steamy.
Okay.
Mm.
So okay. But favorite scenes. Oh, there's a lot of little ones, but I I do like y'all enjoy the pizza one. Like I said, I like the part where they all come in with their shirts off. Um, let's see. Oh, and when Judge Reinhold's character Brad, he just keeps on driving in his pirate uniform. I think he just keeps having the time of his life at the jobs that he is at.
I don't think we said after he sees Nancy Wilson, he is so humiliated that he throws the hat out the window and then starts throwing all the food out the window.
Yep.
Yeah, and he just continues to drive away.
Right.
I think right then and there is when he quit.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny when he went to go eat the food and it was just like,
Right.
Like even I wouldn't need that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Kind of thing. So
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, that's pretty much the movie, unless anyone else has anything else to add.
I will say also the part where we meet Vargas's wife did amuse me. Their reactions.
it's like, how did you get somebody like that?
Right. And I think what I heard was they told Vincent Chiavelli to just pick an extra to be his wife, and he just picked the hottest one. Yeah, but it worked out.
Alrighty. Well, hopefully you ladies and gentlemen out there have enjoyed our discussion on this film. Like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't seen the film, go out and see it. It's definitely entertaining, and I guess I will have to see the X-rated version now. And hopefully be able to check it out and let y'all know maybe in the future. Even though this
Let us
next
know whether it's gnarly or whether it's totally bogus, right?
right, but I'm not sure if that'll work during the Trekkie month. So I guess we'll have to see whether it's so far out, man. But yeah. If you haven't seen the movie, go out and see it. They have it on TV from time to time. Come back, let us know what you thought of the movie, what you thought of our discussion, and then I guess we'll see you next month, where we go where no man has gone before.
Yes, because we will not be on next Monday.
No, we will not.
We will be doing a small hiatus and having a break. First break in a long time from discussing anything on the channel. So,
do you have the September schedule handy?
I know that up first is Bonnie, which is the original Star Trek motion picture.
Okay.
But I do not know the rest of it. Brandon's got it in a lineup.
And the theme is Star Trek September, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Or
Cool.
Trekkies September, and I know Trekkies is one of the movies. Which
that must be Brandon's movie.
Yep. Well, I know Galaxy Quest is yours, Jake.
I think I may have picked that one. I don't remember positively, but I think maybe.
I picked First Contact.
So I don't know the order of things, but I know we're going to be covering the first Star Trek movie, Galaxy Quest, Trekkies, and First Contact. So those are the movies next month, but I can't guarantee the lineup as of right now. Brandon's got it. I'm sure he'll tell me once it gets back. So stay tuned as we beam ourselves up to the mothership, and we'll let you know once our science officer tells us exactly what's going on. So, but for right now, we'll just consider us stuck in the never-ending episode of Trouble with Tribbles. So, in any case, everyone say good night.
Good night, everyone.
Totally gnarly, dude.
All right.